Hello and welcome to Bias Bash. I'm Lauren Green. In the center square today is Jim Pinkerton. He's a contributing editor and writer of the American Conservative magazine and, of course, a Fox News contributor. Welcome, Jim.
Thanks, Lauren. Listen, the Bias Bash today is a pretty flagrant example of a double standard at work. On September 10th, the Albuquerque Journal out in New Mexico ran a story, complete with video, of Democratic gubernatorial candidate Gary King, who was challenging incumbent Republican Governor Susana Martinez. And this is King talking now. He said, Susana Martinez, quote, lacks a Latino heart, unquote. Now, A, how he would know that, and B, how it's anybody's business, and C, how that's not a racial pejorative slur is beyond me. But King said it, and guess what? Nothing happened.
The idea is that, he's a white Democrat talking about a minority issue, and he has no place to say that. And the problem is that nobody picked up on it, because if there had been a Republican, the media would have gone wild with it. Is that what your point is?
Right. I mean, I happened to see the item on the Gary King quote about Latino heart on Breitbart.com, but I didn't see it in many other places. And meanwhile, Lauren, I remember the 2006 Virginia Senate race down here in the Washington area, and George Allen, the then incumbent senator, in an off moment used the word macaca, which is sort of an obscure North African word for monkey, in referring to somebody who'd been following him around with a camera for the last few months. And that became a front-page story on the Post and national news for a month solid. And it almost certainly cost George Allen his re-election campaign that year, because the media just went nuts on it. And so there's a standard. George Allen uses the phrase, and he's a Republican, and the media kill him. Gary King out in New Mexico uses the phrase, and the media just stone cold ignore it. That's about as flagrant an example of bias to be deserving of being bashed as I can think of.
Governor Martinez, in her response, she says, I'm not sure what Gary King meant by this. I'm not going to accuse him of racism. We certainly have different views on the issues, but I know what's in my heart, and I won't question what's in his. And the Republican Governors Association are demanding an apology from Gary King, who's the New Mexico Attorney General. Do you think he should apologize?
Well, I do, but I think that Governor Martinez gave a very dignified response and so on. And it's again, you could say that the media sometimes make too much of these things. The George Allen thing was just an offhand comment, and he didn't really mean it, and so on. But the media went nuts on it. Look, when the media decide to drive a story, they lead. It becomes the national news, becomes the front page, and they succeed in oftentimes in railroading a candidate out of office. Now, sometimes they don't, though. I mean, for example, the former Senator Robert Byrd of West Virginia, who's been known to use the N-word, the late Senator Robert Byrd, way back when, and the media, including later life, it wasn't just as a young man, and the media just gave him a complete free pass, and that's the double standard. If you're going to sauce for the goose, sauce for the gander. And if it was a big deal that George Allen said macaca, then it ought to be a big deal that Gary King says Latino heart.
All right. Thank you very much, Jim Pinkerton. If you want to hear more media analysis on this topic, catch Media Buzz with Howard Kurtz, Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern and again at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Fox News Channel. Jim Pinkerton, Fox News contributor, thank you very much for being on Bias.
Thank you, Lauren.